a secret job paying $15 an hour, a huge sum in 1995. The mission? Protecting a woman in witness protection. But when 19-year-old Erica Miller accepted this tempting offer from a close family friend, she never imagined it was a death trap carefully laid out for her. 6 weeks later, her body was found buried in the backyard of a farm, and the killer turned out to be the person her entire family trusted most. Someone who had dated her mother. Someone who had helped the family post missing person flyers searching for her. This is a story of brutal manipulation, betrayed trust, and dark secrets hidden behind a familiar face. Welcome to the Case Files, where we uncover the darkest secrets hidden behind closed doors and familiar faces. Today, we're taking you deep into one of Pennsylvania's most chilling cases, a story that shattered a small-town community and forever changed how they viewed trust and safety. In this episode, we're taking a deep dive into the infamous case of the West York betrayal, the murder of Erica Miller. The case of a young woman lured, kidnapped, and brutally murdered by her family's most trusted friend. Part 1. Background and Key Figures. The peaceful town of West York. Our story begins in West York, a small town in York County, Pennsylvania, in the mid-1990s. This was a place where everyone knew each other, where families lived side by side, where people left their doors unlocked and trusted their neighbors. In 1995, West York still maintained the characteristic peace of a rural American community. Violent crime was rare, and residents generally felt safe walking around at night, but everything would change after the horrific event that occurred that January. Erica Monique Miller, the bright 19-year-old girl. Erica Monique Miller was born on November 4, 1975, a vibrant young woman full of life. At 19, Erica was at a critical transition point in her life, searching for direction for her future. Erica lived with her mother, Brenda Miller, a strong, single mother, and her mother's boyfriend named Manuel. She had an older brother named Chuck Miller. Her brother had joined the military, but later decided to leave and return home. Erica had also tried following her brother's military path, but soon realized it wasn't the right choice for her, so she came back to live with her mother. People who knew Erica described her as an energetic, cheerful, and friendly girl. She didn't have a regular job at the time, but was looking for opportunities to become independent. Erica had very clear habits. She never left home without her purse, lighter, and cigarettes. James William Bagley, the perfect disguise. And then there was James William Bagley, also known as Bill, the man who would become the Miller family's nightmare. Bagley was a tall man, standing nearly 6 feet 3 inches and weighing close to 200 pounds, with an intimidating physique. He had the nickname Animal, a name that would later become truly terrifying in its literal sense. The most disturbing thing about Bagley wasn't his frightening appearance, but his ability to perfectly disguise himself. Bagley was a longtime friend of the Miller family. He had dated Brenda Miller, Erica's mother. Erica saw Bagley as a mentor, a trusted advisor. Erica's brother, Chuck, considered Bagley a close friend. Bagley had built his image as a professional ex-military man. He claimed to be a member of an armed group specializing in tracking down criminals, bounty hunting, and protecting witnesses. He always carried weapons, had badges, body armor, handcuffs, and full professional equipment. He drove a silver station wagon with a Navy emblem displayed, further enhancing his credibility. But it was all a mask. Behind that trustworthy exterior was a dangerous predator, a cold-blooded criminal waiting for the opportunity to strike. Part 2. The Mysterious Disappearance. The night of January 17, 1995, the fateful night. It was a cold January night in West York. In the Miller household, everything was going as usual. Erica sat watching TV on the sofa, Manuel stayed up a bit to have a snack, and Brenda Miller went to bed early around 9:30 p.m. to prepare for the next workday. Before going to sleep, Brenda heard Erica talking on the phone. During the conversation, she said something like, "I remember you're still there, right?" That was the last time Brenda heard her daughter's voice under normal circumstances. The next morning, January 18, 1995, Brenda woke up and prepared for work as usual. But when she checked Erica's room, her daughter was gone. Suspicious signs. What worried Brenda right away wasn't just Erica's absence, but what she had left behind. Erica's purse was still intact in its usual place. The lighter and pack of cigarettes, items Erica never forgot when going out, were still there. Brenda knew for certain that something was wrong. If Erica had planned to go somewhere, even for just a few hours, she would definitely take these things. And more importantly, Erica always told her mother if she planned to go anywhere far. At first, Brenda tried to stay calm. She called a few people, hoping to find information about her daughter. Then she hurried to work, thinking Erica might return by the time she got home. But when Brenda returned in the afternoon, the scene remained unchanged. The purse, lighter, and cigarettes were still there, untouched. Everything in the house seemed frozen in time. At this point, Brenda could no longer contain her fear. Missing person report. 48 hours after discovering her daughter missing, Brenda Miller called emergency services. West York police quickly arrived and began taking information. A 19-year-old girl named Erica Miller had mysteriously vanished from her home on the night of January 17, 1995. No signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle, no clues at all. Police thoroughly examined the scene. All windows and doors were intact. No blood, no disturbed belongings. Erica's room looked as if she had simply stood up and walked out of the house. The only thing Erica took with her, if she really left on her own, was the long green dress she usually wore. All other clothes, personal items, and money were still in her room. Initial theories. With such a crime scene, police and some townspeople began forming theories. Theory 1. Erica left voluntarily. Some people thought Erica might have decided to change scenery, travel alone, or seek a new life elsewhere. At 19, it wasn't unusual for a young woman to want to explore the world and escape a boring life in a small town. Moreover, Erica didn't have a stable job and had tried the military, but didn't succeed. Maybe she was feeling lost and wanted to find a new direction. No signs of violence, no family conflicts. Everything seemed to support this theory. Theory 2. Erica ran away with a boyfriend. There were rumors that Erica might have left home with a secret boyfriend. Brenda had heard her daughter talking on the phone with someone before going to sleep. Maybe it was Erica's lover, and the two had planned to run away together. But a mother's intuition said otherwise. Despite the theories seeming reasonable, Brenda Miller firmly insisted that something was very wrong. She knew her daughter, knew Erica's personality and habits. If Erica had plans to go somewhere far, even for a few days, she would definitely tell her mother. Erica didn't have a job and lived dependent on her mother. There was no reason she would silently disappear without explanation. And most importantly, Erica would never forget her purse, cigarettes, and lighter. A mother's intuition whispered that her daughter was in danger. Brenda felt like a dark shadow was haunting her family. Part 2. The prolonged investigation. Screening related individuals. With such a mysterious disappearance, York County Police began meticulous investigative work. On January 20, 1995, detectives officially expanded the investigation and began screening everyone who had contacted Erica in her final days. Checking phone records. From phone records, police determined that Jenny, Erica's best friend, was the one who called her that evening. Jenny was brought in for questioning. She confirmed that during their conversation, Erica didn't mention any plans to go anywhere. They just chatted about normal things as usual. But Brenda remembered that after talking to Jenny, Erica seemed to call someone else. So who was that person? And what did they say to Erica? Questioning Manuel. Manuel, Brenda Miller's boyfriend, was also on the suspect list. Statistics show that in cases involving missing or murdered women, the perpetrator is often someone familiar within the family. Manuel insisted that after Brenda went to sleep, he had a light snack and then went to bed next to her. Throughout the night, he was beside Brenda and knew nothing about Erica leaving the house. Manuel was willing to cooperate with police to prove his innocence. The brothers' secret. While West York residents continuously posted missing person flyers throughout the town and discussed various theories, Erica's brother, Chuck Miller, was keeping an important secret. Chuck tried to comfort his mother, but he himself was carrying a burden. A few days before she disappeared, Erica had secretly shared with him about a special job opportunity. The secret job offer. Erica told Chuck that she had just received a cash-paying job offer at $15 per hour, an extremely attractive income in 1995, especially for a 19-year-old girl with no credentials or experience. For comparison, the federal minimum wage in the U.S. in 1995 was only about $4.25 per hour. The mission was described as part of a witness protection program. Erica would have to guard and protect a woman who was being threatened. This job would last from a few days to a week. Erica specifically asked Chuck to promise not to tell anyone, not even their mother. She explained that this was a confidential mission, and secrecy was a mandatory condition. Chuck agreed to keep his sister's secret. But when Erica disappeared, and there was no news, he began to doubt and worry. Finally, he decided to reveal this information to the police. 2 weeks of murky investigation. The information from Chuck Miller opened a new direction for investigation, but also made things more complicated. Who had made that job offer to Erica? Did a witness protection program really exist? Or was it just a trap? Over the next 2 weeks, police received countless anonymous calls with all kinds of theories. Erica was being hunted by a criminal group. She was hiding with a bounty hunter. She ran away with a friend's father. For a while, there were rumors about the simultaneous disappearance of a man named O, who was rumored to have a relationship with Erica. Police curiously followed this lead, but eventually had to drop it due to lack of clear evidence. Every clue seemed to lead to a dead end. Erica Miller seemed to have vanished into thin air. Part 4. The horrific discovery. 6 weeks pass. Hope fades. Time passed day by day. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Hope of finding Erica alive gradually faded. Brenda Miller grew increasingly exhausted, her eyes dark from lack of sleep, her body visibly thinner. Every phone ring made her heart clench. Could it be news about her daughter? Police continued investigating, but had no breakthroughs. Missing person flyers with Erica's smiling face were posted throughout West York, on lampposts, storefronts, and community bulletin boards. Everyone in town knew about the case. Everyone talked about it, but no one had useful information. By early March 1995, it had been nearly 6 weeks since Erica disappeared. The fateful call. On March 29, 1995, Detective Kinrot received an urgent call requesting him to come to a farm in Dover Township, near West York. As the police car rolled down the dirt road leading to the farm, Detective Kinrot had a bad feeling. And that feeling was confirmed the moment he stepped out of the vehicle. The smell of death. The moment he set foot on the ground, Detective Kinrot smelled something familiar. The smell of death. For an experienced investigator, it was an unmistakable smell. In the backyard of the farm, there was a dug-up dirt hole. The farm's owners, a married couple, Tom March and Cheryl Smith, stood nearby looking pale and horrified. Inside the shallow grave. Detective Kinrod approached the dirt hole. The grave was dug very skillfully, not too deep but enough to conceal. Inside, investigators discovered the body of a young woman. The body was only wearing socks, with the head covered by something resembling a green jacket. Police quickly contacted Brenda Miller and asked her to come identify the item. When she saw the green jacket, Brenda Miller nearly collapsed. She trembled as she confirmed, "That's my daughter's jacket." Autopsy results. Forensic examination confirmed the body was that of Erica Monique Miller, 19 years old. But what was more horrific was what had happened to her. Cause of death. Erica was shot twice with a 12-gauge shotgun to the back of the neck at very close range. This was a typical execution method. The victim is forced to kneel, with the gun pointed at the back of the head. Erica's mouth was sealed with duct tape. This indicated that before being killed, she may have been held captive, restrained, and unable to call for help. Evidence at the scene. In the burial pit, investigators found a 12-gauge shell casing. This would be an important clue to track down the killer. The case officially changed from missing person to murder. Who owned the farm? Police immediately focused on Tom March and Cheryl Smith, the couple who owned the farm where the body was found. In murder cases, perpetrators often bury bodies on their own property or in places they control. That's a basic investigative rule. Searching Tom March's house. When searching the house, police discovered what seemed like solid evidence: a 12-gauge shotgun, a box of 12-gauge ammunition on top of the refrigerator. Ballistics experts determined the shell casing found in the burial pit matched perfectly in type and manufacturer with the ammunition box in Tom March's house. All eyes turned to Tom March. Could he be the killer? Cheryl Smith's statement. Cheryl Smith, Tom March's wife, was brought into the interrogation room first, and the story she told opened up a completely new direction of investigation, one that no one could have expected. Animal. The beast. Cheryl testified that in January 1995, a friend of Tom's named Animal came to their house and asked them to bury some confidential documents on their land. This man wasn't a stranger. He was Tom's longtime friend, who frequently visited and acted very friendly. Cheryl described Animal as a tall, large man who always carried weapons and dressed neatly like a military person. Animal said he worked in witness protection, bounty hunting, and tracking down criminals. He had badges, body armor, handcuffs, and full professional equipment. He claimed to be a member of a professional armed group. With his trustworthy appearance and long-standing relationship with Tom, Cheryl didn't suspect anything when Animal asked to bury a box of confidential documents in their backyard. He explained this was a way to save on insurance costs and keep important papers safe. Tom March agreed and personally dug the hole, then buried the box that Animal brought. Suspicions begin. As time passed, Animal's words and behavior made Cheryl Smith start feeling uneasy. Something wasn't right, but she couldn't say what. Then one day, while at the supermarket, Cheryl saw a missing person flyer with Erica Miller's face. She read the information. Missing since January 17th, 1995. Cheryl was struck as if by lightning. The time Erica went missing matched perfectly with the day Animal brought the document box to be buried. A horrifying thought flashed through Cheryl's mind. Could what was in that box not be documents? Digging up the hole. Cheryl Smith immediately demanded Tom March dig up the hole. Even though it was already dark, they hurried to the backyard with flashlights and shovels. The dirt hole wasn't deep. Tom began digging, after just a few minutes. Cheryl saw a human hand. She screamed, ran into the house, and immediately called 911. Vina interrogating Tom. March. Tom March insisted he had absolutely no knowledge of the body in the box. He thought it really was just documents, as Animal had said. He trusted his longtime friend and never suspected anything. Detectives were initially very skeptical. The story sounded too absurd. How could someone easily believe that burying documents in the backyard was normal? How could anyone trust a self-proclaimed bounty hunter who always carried guns and handcuffs everywhere? But Tom March agreed to take a polygraph test. For 2.5 hours, Tom answered numerous questions while connected to sensors monitoring heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, and skin conductivity. The result: Tom March passed all the questions. He was completely innocent. He was just too naive, too trusting. Hunting for Animal. Now the investigation had a clear direction. Police needed to find the man nicknamed Animal. Tom March agreed to cooperate with police. He called Animal and arranged to meet at his workplace. When the silver station wagon with a Navy emblem rolled into the parking lot, police were ready. They drew their guns and closed in. But Animal didn't try to escape. He just sat silently in the car, staring straight ahead, showing no reaction even when police pointed guns at the vehicle. Detective Kinrod later recounted that it was the strangest behavior he had ever witnessed. No fear, no panic, no resistance, just absolute coldness and emptiness. When police opened the car door and pulled the man out, they finally uncovered the dark secret behind Erica Miller's death. Part 5. Unmasking the Killer. James William Bagley, the family's closest friend. The person nicknamed Animal was James William Bagley, also known as Bill. And here's the biggest shock. Bagley was a longtime friend of the Miller family. He had dated Brenda Miller, Erica's mother. He was a close friend of Chuck Miller, Erica's brother. Erica saw him as a mentor, a trusted advisor. During the days Erica was missing, Bagley himself had helped the family post missing person flyers throughout West York. Imagine the Miller family's feelings when they learned the truth. The person they trusted most, the person who had stood by them during their most painful time, the person who had hugged Brenda to comfort her when she cried, was the one who murdered Erica. Chuck Miller later said, "I felt like the whole world collapsed. The person I saw as a brother, the person my sister trusted, turned out to be a devil in human skin." Irrefutable evidence. When searching Bagley's silver station wagon, the forensics team discovered horrifying evidence. 1. Bloodstains on the rear carpet. DNA analysis confirmed it was Erica Miller's blood. This proved Erica had been in this car and very likely had been attacked right there. 2. Chains and rolls of duct tape in the trunk. These were tools for binding and gagging the victim. The duct tape found in the trunk matched the tape on Erica's mouth when the body was discovered. 3. Tom March's shotgun. Bagley had borrowed this gun from Tom March in early January 1995 under the pretext of going hunting. He promised to return it after a few days. But this gun was the murder weapon used to kill Erica. The crime scenario. Based on evidence and statements, police reconstructed the entire crime scenario. Step 1. Planning. Bagley had secretly planned to kidnap Erica beforehand. He exploited her trust, taking advantage of his close relationship with the family, to access the victim. Step 2. Luring the victim. Bagley fabricated a story about a secret job, protecting a woman in witness protection for $15 per hour. With his trustworthy appearance and the security work experience he had boasted about, Erica trusted him completely. He asked Erica to keep it absolutely secret, not to tell anyone, not even her mother. This ensured no one would know where Erica went or with whom. Step 3. Kidnapping. On the night of January 17, 1995, Bagley called Erica. This was likely the call Brenda Miller heard before going to sleep, the call where Erica said, "I remember you're still there, right?" Bagley arranged to meet Erica outside, under the pretext of starting the mission. Erica trustingly got into his car, wearing only her long green dress, leaving her purse, cigarettes, and lighter at home because she thought the mission would be completed quickly. Step 4. Captivity and rape. Investigators believe Bagley took Erica to some location, bound her with chains, gagged her with duct tape, then raped her. Step 5. Murder. After the rape, Bagley executed Erica execution style. He forced her to kneel, using Tom March's 12-gauge shotgun to shoot her twice in the back of the neck at close range. Step 6. Concealing the body, Bagley drove Erica's body to Tom March's farm, a place he knew well from frequent visits. He dug a shallow hole, buried Erica's body, and covered her head with the green jacket. Then he went to see Tom March and Cheryl Smith, making up the story about a box of confidential documents that needed to be buried. He asked them to dig deeper and bury it more securely, turning the burial site into a legitimate area that the landowners voluntarily dug and buried. Step 7. Acting throughout the 6 weeks Erica was missing, Bagley played the role of a concerned, close friend. He helped the Miller family post flyers throughout town. He comforted Brenda when she cried. He even participated in search efforts. It was all an act to conceal his crime. Interrogating Bagley, the unrepentant devil. When questioned, James William Bagley displayed an extremely cold attitude. He answered vaguely, evading questions. When asked about motive, he only said, "Probably because of drugs or because of Erica Miller." Then he requested a lawyer and said nothing more. Detective Kinrot, who had investigated hundreds of cases in his career, later recounted, "I've met many dangerous people, but Bagley's eyes were completely different. They were empty, emotionless, soulless. He looked at me as if I were just an inanimate object. He felt no guilt, no remorse. He was the embodiment of pure evil." Bagley never confessed to his crime, even when evidence piled up. Part 6. Justice and Consequences. The Trial. On July 18, 1996, after more than a year of investigation and preparation, the trial of James William Bagley officially began at York County Court, Pennsylvania. The jury heard extensive evidence, DNA test results from blood in Bagley's car ballistics analysis, matching the gun Bagley borrowed from Tom March, testimony from Tom March, and Cheryl Smith testimony from Chuck Miller about the secret job phone call records. Physical evidence from the crime scene. After many hours of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. James William Bagley was guilty of kidnapping and first-degree murder of Erica Miller. Initially, Bagley was sentenced to death. Appeal and sentence modification. In 2001, Bagley's lawyers appealed to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They argued that in the 1996 trial, the judge had given confusing instructions to the jury during the sentencing phase, violating the defendant's right to a fair trial. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court accepted the appeal and overturned the death sentence. A new trial was held to reconsider the sentence. In this trial, the jury could not reach consensus on whether to impose the death penalty. Finally, Judge John C. Uhler pronounced the sentence, life without parole for James William Bagley. Bagley today. Currently, James William Bagley is serving his life sentence at SCI Fayette State Prison in LaBelle, Pennsylvania. He will die in prison, with no chance of freedom. Throughout more than 20 years in prison, Bagley has never confessed to his crime, never shown remorse. Impact on the victim's family. For the Miller family, justice may have been served, but the pain never heals. Brenda Miller. The shattered mother. Brenda Miller attempted suicide multiple times after her daughter's death. She couldn't accept the truth that her daughter was deceived and brutally murdered by her ex-boyfriend, someone she had trusted and cared for. "How can I go on living?" Brenda once cried out through tears. "I invited him into my home. I let him near my daughter. I created the opportunity for him to access Erica. Is that my fault?" The guilt, self-blame, and pain of losing her child tormented her day and night. Chuck Miller, the brother carrying a burden. Chuck Miller also couldn't get over the shock. He kept a few photos from childhood, pictures of him and his sister smiling carefree, not knowing that tragedy would strike. The last photo we took together was at Christmas, just 1 year after Erica's death. In the photo, it's just me and Mom at Grandma's house. Erica was no longer in this world. Chuck always wondered if he hadn't kept his sister's secret. If he had told his mother about that secret job from the beginning, would Erica still be alive? When we found out Bagley was the killer, the first thing we wanted to understand was, why? Why did he do it? Was he mentally ill? Or was he a cold-blooded, conscienceless person? We even asked him directly, hoping he would give us an explanation. But he remained silent. Not one word of confession. Not one sign of remorse. In the end, we had to accept one thing. He was the embodiment of evil. The name Animal wasn't just a random nickname. He truly was a beast in human form. Impact on the community. The Erica Miller case shook the entire West York and York County community. People began to doubt even their closest acquaintances. Trust, the foundation of a rural community, had been eroded. Parents became more vigilant with people who knew their children. They taught their kids about warning signs of predators, about not blindly trusting even familiar people. The case also prompted York County Police to improve procedures for investigating missing person cases, especially not easily concluding that victims left voluntarily without clear evidence. The Erica Miller case is a deeply haunting tragedy, not only because of the brutal nature of the crime, but because it occurred within the most trusted circle. Painful lessons. 1. Predators often disguise themselves perfectly. James William Bagley wasn't a stranger lurking in the shadows. He was a friend, an ex-boyfriend, someone the family trusted. He had spent years building a trustworthy image, creating close relationships so that when the opportunity came, he could attack without anyone suspecting. This is a typical characteristic of sophisticated predators. They know how to integrate into victims' lives, making victims and their families trust them completely. 2. Tempting offers can be traps. A secret job paying $15 per hour sounded wonderful to an inexperienced 19-year-old girl, but it was precisely a carefully calculated trap. Bagley exploited Erica's inexperience and trust, while also requiring absolute secrecy to ensure no one would know where she was. 3. Never keep secrets about where you're going and with whom. One of Chuck Miller's biggest regrets was keeping his sister's secret. If Erica had told her mother about that job, or if Chuck had revealed it from the start, things might have been different. No matter who makes the request, no matter how trustworthy they seem, always let your family know where you're going, with whom, and when you'll return. 4. Trust your instincts. Brenda Miller knew from the beginning that something was wrong. She felt her daughter was in danger, even when police and others thought Erica had simply run away. Instincts, especially a parent's, are often more accurate than we think. If you're following this story, take a moment to reflect on the lessons the Erica Miller case leaves behind. Be vigilant, but don't live in fear. Not everyone is bad, but bad people often disguise themselves as good. Talk to your children and loved ones about safety. Teach them to recognize warning signs. Teach them not to keep dangerous secrets. Teach them to always report where they're going and with whom. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, don't ignore that feeling. Remember Erica Miller, a 19-year-old girl with her whole future ahead of her, taken away by an evil predator in trusted friends' clothing. Remember that evil doesn't always come from distant darkness, but sometimes it hides behind the most familiar faces, in arms we think are the safest. This is the Case Files. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay aware, and never stop questioning.